13th?
No, it is Friday, the 24th of March, 1882. And two moderately respectable ladies are taking tea in the library of 18 Grosvenor Square, London. Outside, it's a blustery spring day. You can hear the clop of hooves on the cobbles, the sound of people going about their business. And it's been 2 days since Zachary disappeared. 2 days since you, or at least since Maddie, retrieved monsters and their kind from Pevensey Hall. And as we look into the library, these two ladies, how are the two of you looking at the moment? What's the general vibe?
Maddie is struggling to stay awake. She's a bit disheveled, though she is fully dressed. And she's... Is this daytime currently?
Yeah, it's early afternoon.
Okay, she has all of the curtains drawn so that as much light can come into the room as possible. In any room that she enters, she has the curtains drawn immediately open.
And
Lady Irene. Lady Irene is sitting there rubbing her temples, looking over at Maddie, while sipping tea, pretending not to look at Maddie on occasion if Maddie is looking towards her, but there's this distinctive concern over her dear friend.
And the quiet air of the library is broken when you hear a loud knock at the front door.
Were you expecting anyone, Maddie?
No. No, but, is James here? I think he'll get the door.
Yes, Miss Carter, Lady Irene, I'll get... One moment.
Thank you, James.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Shall I... And standing on the step outside, Reggie and Andrew, you see as the door opens and a slightly harried-looking footman opens it, looks out at you. Hello? Can I help you?
Well met, sir. I'm sure. I hope. I assume we've found ourselves in the proper location. Ting ting. My name is Reginald Reggie Bloomington. My associate here is Mr. Smith, and I must say, Bing Bing, I was asked to come here to ask for help, as in succor. Mr. Smith?
Yes, my name is Andrew Smith, and I'm here because I think we are at the right place. My brother disappeared.
Okay, let me just get the ladies. One moment. Can you just wait there, sirs? Thank you.
Very well.
James hurries through the hall, and from the library you can overhear that conversation. It's not very far from the library to the front door.
Someone's missing.
Lady Irene, Miss Carter, there's two gentlemen at the door, a Mr. Bloomington and a Mr. Smith. I think they're looking for you. Shall I send them away or show them in? Sorry, Miss Carter, what was that? I didn't quite catch that.
Sorry. Show them in. We'll meet them in the parlor in just a moment.
Of course. I will show them up to the parlor.
Lady Irene kind of stands up and makes certain she's presentable. She looks over to Maddie and there's kind of this reach to attempt to help Maddie look presentable, but it's not going to actually help. So she puts her hands. Well,
and Maddie stands. She's a little bit unsteady. It's been 3 days since she's slept properly, I think. James, bring some tea to the and she'll look at Irene. Where are we going?
Can I take some tea up to the drawing room?
yes.
Yes, please, thank you. And she'll wobble her way a little bit.
Before James leaves, Lady Irene's going to hand him a note, like discreetly, very much that kind of pocket kind of statement. We will get to reading that note later, Eyes.
Oh yes, if you want to keep this note secret, you can send it to me if you don't want the others to know about it.
I'm totally sending it to you, as you know.
So James pockets the note and then goes to arrange tea and show the gentleman up to the drawing room up on the first floor. So he leads you two into what is a very, very impressive looking London townhouse. This is a very fashionable, wealthy address, Grosvenor Square. He leads you upstairs to the drawing room, where you see two young ladies. I believe at this point both of you are now dressed in black. Am I correct?
Yes.
Maddie is still in mourning.
Yes. And as the two gentlemen are shown into the drawing room, what would the ladies see? So what are the general appearances of Mr. Bloomington and Mr. Smith?
Mr. Smith, go ahead.
You will see somebody dressed formally, like a blue suit, totally in blue. Actually, it's blue shirt, blue shoes, blue tie. But you see, he's not wearing the tie correctly. It's a little tied correctly and everything. So you see, he's not used to wear a suit every day. But he's clean, he's proper, and he's standing really, really high up, but not tense. He's really relaxed.
And Reginald Reggie Bloomington, he always says the whole thing, even though he has a nickname. He is dressed in a very proper, very perfect gray suit. He's got his hat in both hands, and he looks nervous to be here. And he's saying quietly to himself, "Ting ting." Hello, madam, ma'am. Apparently, you can help us in our search for a missing, perhaps mutual friend of ours. Mr. Smith's brother has given us this particular note. It came to me, and it indicated we should come here. Mr. Smith's brother is John Smith, and he's currently missing.
Missing?
Quite a few. Was it spontaneous combustion?
No, that would be someone's dead, Maddie. Missing.
Missing. Did they get lost to the market?
Well, it certainly doesn't seem that way. We received this note. We asked around. Apparently, you are the one. So here, he hands you a note that says, "Augusta's child is born, and I think they mean to kill me. Please get help. Get Andrew and go to Grosvenor Square. They can help."
Augustus.
Yes, quite. Augusta. She's
Bellfont.
Yes, that's correct.
Does that
I
name
didn't.
ring, does that name ring a bell for you?
I didn't
Yes.
know she was with child. We'll have to congratulate her.
No, Maddie.
Do you know this person?
I do. We do.
Do you know where my brother is?
I have suspicion. They have a house, a country house, off the river. They have a
No, I don't want to go
Yeah.
back. I don't want to go
Yes.
back. No, I don't want to go back.
Something happened. Something happened to my brother.
We,
Do you know something?
How do you know anything about the Bellfonts? Lady Irene sits down next to Maddie, kind of gently holding her hand a little.
To be honest, not really much. I haven't heard really much about my brother last year. I just heard he married a certain Augusta Bellfont. And yeah, what I heard of is it was a hasty wedding. The rumor was that she was already pregnant while the marriage. So that's the only thing I know about him. You know, he's my brother and all. I love him, but he wanted to go his own way to live his own life. So I just let him do it. But now he's in trouble. Yeah, I'm here.
If you were able to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
After you, madam. After you.
Oh, I was going to say, didn't we try to stop the wedding?
No, that's. I have met your brother once, Mr. Smith. We went to the Bellfont's house under the guise of giving wedding gifts because of the announcement, but the Bellfonts are known for dark and mysterious things.
Dark and mysterious. What do you mean?
There was before the spontaneous combustion, we had incidences of people drowning on dry land.
Drowning on dry land?
Mm-hmm.
Like drowning on the earth, on the flat earth, like me now drowning?
Yes.
Surely, my dear friend John cannot be caught up in such strange
Water and
dealings.
fish in the lungs. Fish and crabs in the
Yeah.
lungs.
There was quite some incidences, at least 5 now of this, and all of the points in question led to people that were in the Bellfont's way in some way.
In their way, but John was married to Augusta. She is a Bellfont.
He was even working for them, no? Before that.
True, yes, he certainly was.
Which makes me think that he suddenly realized or saw something that, well, he didn't like.
Don't you believe he would have told someone something? I mean, I am a fairly close friend of John. It seems he would have mentioned something to me. And what is it, dear ladies, that you can do about such a thing?
Well, Did he mention Dagon at all?
I
Don't
certainly
say that
recall.
name.
I don't recall one of that name.
Oh, that name doesn't ring a bell. No.
We here are members of the London Esoteric Society. We stand in defense of individuals that have fallen awry with supernatural powers.
Super. Excuse me.
It's true. The Bellfonts helped to create a plant that feasted on human flesh. We set fire to that. And then, what did we go to interrupt?
There was potentially a ritual that was going to take place. We went to try and spy around to see if maybe we can figure out the comings and goings of the Bellfonts, what they knew, what they were doing. That's why we went to the Bellfonts' house originally. However, they decided to what's the word? They were going
Try
to
to
drug
kill
us. Yes.
Ting, 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 ting. Kill. And our friend, and my friend John, your brother, sir. There must something that must be done.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And Scotland Yard probably will not help.
Sorry, but it's a little difficult for me to understand everything. You speaking about people drowning on flat Earth, plant, a plant who's trying to eat some people.
That did happen?
How? I can't believe it. Why does my? I don't believe my brother would be meddling with something like that.
Well, if he wasn't the one that was meddling with it, Augusta definitely would.
Perhaps your brother was bewitched by Augusta into the marriage.
like a witchcraft, like a real witch.
Indeed. I have seen things both astronomical and horrifying while in this work.
Ting, ting, ting.
Sorry, but it seems so. I'm not trying to be rude or something, but come on, witchcraft. Everybody knows that doesn't exist.
Lady Irene is going to walk up to Andrew, and she's going to pull her gloves off. We've never met before, correct?
Never.
I would not know a single thing about you, correct?
Yes, I can assume so, yeah.
Hands.
He
Give me
will
your
give.
hands.
He give you it freely like this.
Ting, 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 ting.
We're going to do the thing that I do.
Okay. Give me a roll, please. Let's see what you can get a reading of Mr. Smith here.
Hard success.
Okay, so you see sort of flashes of an impression of this man's life. Just brief moments of from childhood. You see the sort of the image of like a castle built upon a large like granite rock rising above a tangle of streets. Weirdly, this brief sound of bagpipes. And then other images, cities Have you ever travelled? Has Lady Irene ever been to the continent?
I don't believe so.
No, so cities you don't recognise, places you're not familiar with, and I believe languages you do not speak. And then you see another young man, a boy, a few years, probably younger than Mr. Smith. You hear him call him John. You get impressions of his work, of engineering, of like chain of machinery, and then you're back in the room holding this man's hand in yours.
You've traveled about far and wide. There was a castle that I saw, bagpipes. You're the older brother.
Yes, I am. And the bagpipes will be the place where I'm born. I'm from Scotland.
Assuredly, ma'am, you cannot be serious.
She is.
Reggie,
Very serious.
Reggie, I'm the only one from Scotland. You know John is not. He's from England. I'm the only one. We don't have the same mother. You know that.
Yes, but honestly, dark magic? Well, he is my friend, and I must do what I can to help him. What must be done?
Well, we need to figure out what they're doing. I can ask around. We need to figure out how to get to their estate again.
Would it be possible for me to just say, "Hey, hi, I'm the older brother. I want to see how John is."
It's
That
possible,
won't work.
but that might get you in, but
Then they'll sacrifice you to their...
Sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that doesn't seem to be very wise. Mr. Smith, perhaps we shouldn't go there.
I need to find my brother. I need to find him. So, okay, I'm in. You just bought me there. What can we do?
Yeah. Lady Irene's putting her gloves back on.
And as you do so, slightly belatedly, James appears and sorry, teapot needed washing.
Thank you.
His tea, and I mean, this is for you.
Thank you.
He presses a small bottle into your hand.
Thank you.
If you need anything else, just ring. He
Yes.
disappears again.
Reggie, do you mind if I call you Reggie?
Certainly. That is my nomenclature.
Are you all right?
Well, I mean, I was fine when we got here. I believe that yes, I think so.
I know this is all hard to take in. Trust me. I was the same when this all started.
Yes.
Maddie, I do hate to trouble you, but is there anything in those books of yours that might detail what is going on? Or what the Bellfonts are doing with Father Dagon and Mother Hydra?
I told you not to say his name.
I won't say his name.
She's going to pat her pockets to see if she has the books in her pockets. Let me go. Let me go. And she's going to stand up and wander off through the house. She's not going to go directly to her room, but she'll eventually end up in her room to find her books.
do have to forgive her. She's been through a lot. Her great uncle was beset upon by the Bellfonts, and then several things have happened. She is of a gentle constitution.
Yeah, I asked when was the last time she slept because she looks really tired.
Probably 3 days.
3 days. Have you been to the
See,
doctor or something like that? Because
well, the only thing a doctor would do is throw her in an asylum right now.
There are certain tinctures and certain medicines and powders that one could take to get some repose for a short amount of time.
I had James procure something so that I can try and get her to sleep tonight. She has been fighting the want to sleep.
she's scared about
Well,
something.
When you start reading and learning about things beyond normal comprehension, it tends to take a toll from what I've seen.
well, I don't suppose we could accomplish this with a certain amount of gumption, or perhaps a call to the local bobbies.
Unfortunately, I don't think so, but they could produce a distraction. If we can rile up certain people, maybe we can distract the Bellfonts away.
Correct them.
So you really think coming like a family and asking my brother is really a bad idea?
I'm more worried that if you go in, you won't come out. That's my one concern. Because we came on actually a gentle venture to at least talk and see what might be going on at the Bellfonts estate, and they tried to kill us.
Oh, my dear. Ding, ding.
Just like that, without any reasons.
Well, I do admit that Maddie's family was tied to the Bellfonts. They had a falling out before we even know, and Maddie tried to mend that bridge. And the Bellfonts took mending that bridge by, oh, we're here to be sacrificed.
Oh, perhaps, perhaps or I, perhaps am not the one who needs to be involved in such a caper, but he is such a dear friend of mine. I feel I must. But I do not like this one bit.
Did you work together, or Reggie?
I did some paperwork for the establishment that he works with, and we met that way, and we've become very good snooker pals since then. We shoot every once in a while, and we share a pint.
So you shoot. That's a good skill.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm very good. We just enjoy the sport.
So you did some paperwork for him for the Bellfont shipping company.
Yes. It had nothing to do with. It was in defense of them in a certain lawsuit, and I really didn't get much of a feel for the business end of things. I just
a lawsuit.
It was, yes, that type of thing.
What happened?
Well, they were sued by a competitor, and I certainly am not a barrister. I'm an apprentice barrister. I merely filled out the paperwork as you to close the final agreement statement by the actual judge.
I see, I see. So you and John, when's the last time you saw John?
Carrie, when's the last time I saw John? Weeks ago? Days ago?
So the last time you've had a couple of letters from John since he got married. So you would have mostly just very, oh, everything's going well. I'll see you soon, sort of letters. But you've not seen him in person for over 9 months now, since he got married. Neither of you nor Andrew have actually seen him. You've had some letters from him, usually like, oh, I'm well, Augusta's well. Very busy, see you soon, sort of letters.
Well, now you mention it, it
yep.
has been more
Sorry.
than half a year.
Andrew, did you have a question?
Yes. For storyteller, was there something strange in the writing of my brother? Did I see something peculiar with the writings, with how the letter was done? Was there something different than normal?
You know what? Give me a retroactive spot hidden check here, please. Mr. Smith, our first roll. Well, no, actually we had a mediumship roll earlier, but our first roll for this character.
So what will it be?
So spot hidden, I think, seems appropriate. So that. So nothing that you saw seemed out of the ordinary. His letters that had come previously looked like his handwriting. And this note that Reggie has does look like your brother's handwriting, but very shaky. Like, the other ones were his normal handwriting. This looks like a panicked note. There's even a slight smear of blood on it.
You have to find my brother.
Indeed we do. And I'm glad to have you both here to help.
Yeah, thank you.
Just tell me what to do. And you say Scotland Yard won't help?
If you were to go up and tell them your brother is missing, they would go and search, and if they had the manpower and the reason. But then they might just shrug. Because the Bellfonts are surprisingly powerful, surprisingly well connected. They might come up with some excuse or reason why he's gone. And
Go on.
and then they're unfortunately the Scotland Yard also doesn't believe in the supernatural. So they tend to put a wash on everything we've brought to them.
Yes, it is difficult to believe, difficult to set stores by.
It is, and that is why we're here. So, I was hoping not to have to run into the Bellfonts so soon again. It's only been 3 months, 4 months since they did that terrible thing to Maddie's great uncle. But something needs to be done. I want to save your brother, Andrew. And honestly, I don't know. Augusta is terrifying at the best of times.
Terrifying? What do you mean?
Well, her and her brother both work the same magic. The drowning on water. Well, I mean drowning on dry land business. Who knows what else they can do?
Why would John be married to such a person?
Power. Or, as Maddie said, charm. I've heard of love potions and spells like that. I never put stock in anything. of the
Well,
sort, but with some of the things I've seen, it's possible.
Well, perhaps what I mean to say is more that what would this horrible witch want with my good friend and Mr. Smith's brother?
Yeah, that's a good question indeed.
You said that she was potentially pregnant before they got married.
That's the rumor, but you know how rumor goes. But yeah, the marriage was really hasty, so it could have been possible. Yeah.
And the letter said that the child was born?
Yes, it did.
And now he's afraid for his life.
Quite.
Which might have mean that they needed an excuse. Just something to cover up the rumpled bedding. Legitimize the pregnancy. If the rumor is true, that is. And now that the baby is born,
What do
If
you
you don't-
propose? Please go on.
If you don't mind my asking, Madam, Lady Irene, how did John know to come here, or that you could possibly help?
well, we specialize in seeking out knowledge and answering questions that people don't want to answer. Plus, as I said before, the Bellfonts came here and murdered Maddie's great uncle. And so, obviously, we are against the Bellfonts in a way. So that would be the assumption, is that he wants someone not of the Bellfonts, not someone that was friendly with them, to help. Where is Maddie?
You see Andrew.
Sorry.
You see Andrew pacing, and yeah, and yes, yeah. Go on. I will say afterwards.
So that is a very good question. Where is Maddie?
She is in her room, and she sat down at her desk in her room to look through the the books that she has, specifically for the information that they asked, she thinks. So she's going into the section of Dagon in the books. She's going to look through it as carefully as she can to see if there's anything else that she can pick from that.
Okay, so what are you trying to determine? Because Nameless Cults covers Dagon quite extensively in its typical style. This is a slightly rambling text. It's not nicely ordered like an encyclopedia. It was a translation of a rather badly organized original text. It does sport a few quite disturbing etchings in it. And it does claim that the original had more and many better etchings, but that the author could not afford to have them all reproduced. So yeah, there's an entire section on Dagon and the worshippers of Dagon. So the question is, what is it you're trying to find out here?
A child.
Okay, about children. So you've got time, you've read this book through before, but to judge how quality of information you can get, I'd like you to just roll me a D100, please, here, and you're rolling here against the book. and the book's mythos rating here to see if the information you're looking for is in your copy.
I've got a 50.
Okay, so there's not an extensive covering of children. There are some mentions though. There are mentions that some of the worshippers of Dagon have been tied to traditions involving similar to the myths of things like troll wives and selkies, the idea of taking a sea bride or a sea husband and there being children born to cultists who are not entirely human. That some of the cultists would take brides or husbands from the sea.
I'll
And
write
these were
that.
supposedly the children of the deep, the children of Dagon. The writer of this book dismisses this as a little too far-fetched even for his imaginings.
I
Although
will still take note of it.
the text does include an enchantment that supposedly calls upon the children of the sea, should you wish to ever test this out for yourself.
Not yet. She won't write that part down, but she'll write down the taking the wives or husbands of the sea and children for that. So I'll take that note down.
Yeah, one thing you do know from reading it is that Dagon is traditionally more associated with the sea than with rivers.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be like the major deviation of what you've seen at the Bellfonts so far compared to what the book itself says of Dagon's worshippers. And one thing you would have seen is it is mentioned that there were known to be coastal villages in the British Isles that were supposedly associated with Dagon worship. More specifically, the village of Dunwich, which fell into the sea.
I will take that note down as well. And then after that, I'm going to look through the monsters and their kind. Or kind? Kind.
It's monsters and their kind.
Hint?
It's just kind. It's just spelt by someone who hadn't invented spelling.
Ah, yes, okay. I am going to look through that and see if it has anything about children of the sea or even children of water.
Okay,
Give me
another D100 here, please. This book is a little less extensive in its discussion of cults, this one more being concerned with monsters.
That is a 92.
Nothing that seems particularly relevant for what you're looking for at the moment.
Okay. I am going to tuck them away into a locked drawer in my desk, the books, but I'll take the note with me and go back downstairs, finally. Yawning the entire way.
Okay, so possibly just at the time when Andrew is pacing back and forth, Maddie returns to the room.
Irene, I found something.
Good.
Here. And she'll pass the note of information to Irene. And the handwriting is a little bit on the sloppier side. Still legible, but sloppier than normal.
There's kind of a blank because Irene knows your penmanship and this is not the caliber, but interesting. I'm starting to think that maybe the images of the sea when I touched Augusta meant some other things.
More than likely, Mr. Smith's brother is a cover-up. He may have been bewitched to think that he was in love with her, and after a while realized that that was not his child.
Because he was handy, he was already there at the shipping company. Perhaps he was just the easiest picking.
I think you're muted, Andrew, by the
Now that you mention it, the letter said something about Augustus' child, not his child. So it was not his child, or else he would have told me there that he was going to be a father. Now that I think about it, he would have told. He would have. He will present me the child. He will come to me with the child. He would ask me to come and see for the child. Now that he never spoke about the child before.
More than likely, he realized after the child was born, or probably even during childbirth, he was released from the bewitchment or something, and that is what's making him hide, or maybe they decided to do something with him. All of this is guesswork. Where's the tea? I'm gonna go for I'm gonna pour a straight black cup of tea.
Keeper, were there any announcements in the papers saying that Augusta had a child, or?
They're not yet, so far as you have seen. There haven't yet been any announcements.
And there hasn't been announcements that a child was born to the Bellfonts.
It's really, really strange.
Might I beg you for a spot of tea? I think perhaps it may help to calm my nerves.
Of course.
And while we do this, can I ask you, Lady Irene, who is the person to whom we are referring? We may not speak its name. Who is that person?
It's a deity of sorts.
Of what? It seemed as though you were referring to a person. Oh, this gets worse and worse and worse.
Don't you have something stronger than tea?
If you would like, I can have James fetch the whiskey.
No, I think I'm going to pass it, but I will need it later.
That's exactly how I feel after we come back from any of these excursions.
So, what do we do now? I need to find my brother, even now more than ever.
We need
It's quite weird. It's a deity. A deity was supposed to do something about a deity.
Or it's more the followers of the deity that you need to worry about.
I should have finished it. And I'm gonna look at Irene. I should have finished it. It wouldn't have made any of this relevant. All of this would have been dealt with.
And it would have dealt with everything. There's this kind of broad stretching kind of gesture.
Exactly. It would have finished everything.
Ladies, finished what?
You don't want to know.
Actually, I do.
would have ended the darkness. It would have.
And this is entirely possible. Is it possible to end all of this foolishness?
At the cost of everything, I think. No good could come from that, Maddie. There's a reason I stopped you.
If you would, let me see if I have this straight. We are dealing with a deity that can produce offspring with humans, that can fill a human's lungs with crabs, that has followers that would rather kill you than say hello. Am I missing anything?
You'd rather-
Eating plants. You forgot the eating plants.
Ah,
Yes,
yes.
the murderous plant. That's true. That's true. The murderous plant.
Is the
that
plant
will-
related to the water, the god of water?
Don't properly know, but what happened in that incident is the Bellfonts gave an individual a plant with medicinal properties, and the individual tried to grow said plant. Gave him, it was one of those sort of things where, you know, they got a cutting of the plant. It helped them do something. They then took a cutting from what remained and then tried to profit from it themselves. It was a whole
How horrible.
It was a whole thing.
Was Reggie's going into
The plant also talked.
Reggie's going into a funk thinking about the tulips that he typically breeds and shows. Wondering if they could do that with his tulips. Very upset.
But in essence, you got most of the story beats, right? If you're not useful to the Bellfonts, they will find a use for you. If you stand against them, they will try and kill you.
Do you think the fact that they're a shipping magnate and they cross the oceans and cross the continents, that there's something out in the waters that they were able to contact, or that contacted them and forced them into such servitude?
I don't think it forced them. I think they are the ones that reached out to it.
Well, then
But
they
yes.
are evil.
As a shipping magnet, I believe so. There's a reason they have an Egyptian obelisk in their backyard of this country house.
My?
But yes, we need to come up with a plan.
Mhm.
I mean, we could go with the old standby, Maddie. It would be Maddie Plan 1.0, wouldn't it? Try and burn the house down? That would cause panic.
Mhm.
And then maybe we can go in and try and find your brother in the middle of the chaos. Not a big fire, mind you, a small fire, enough to cause a problem, enough to distract.
Is there perhaps an outbuilding, some shed or barn, or tannery, or a place where they smoke their meats, or something like this that we could cause a conflagration inside?
We could
Well,
probably
attention.
pay someone to start that.
Ooh, yes, that sounds even easier, more safer for us.
So from what you saw before, it's like a rather impressive house. It's got some outbuildings in terms of it's got a stables for horses and a carriage house.
Yes, a fire in the stable, send the horses running wild. That could cause a stir and distraction.
Storyteller.
Yes?
Assuming my work, would I have access to some materials here in London.
What kind of materials are you after here?
Black powder?
Um, Definitely, yes. I mean, depending on how much you want,
Oh, it's just a
It was-
small amount.
you could definitely get your hands on some explosives, yeah.
Remember,
Uh,
TNT doesn't exist in this time. Tis was very specific about the time frame she chose because she didn't want TNT in this game.
Oh no. I'm sure it will turn up as soon as it's been invented.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
However, what has been invented and patented is dynamite.
Yeah, dynamite was used for the copper mines already. Normally, so they
Yes.
will have that. So I will have
Yes.
black powder normally. Yeah.
Yeah, there is dynamite as well as standard like gunpowder, black powder.
So
We should find.
I could help maybe with that.
help.
You see, I'm an engineer, and I could have some materials to put something to fire.
And
That
we
explains the
mix.
gears. I saw gears when I.
We can mix something flammable in with their hay that they use to line the stables.
Yeah, indeed. And we can even make a little trail with black powder. Like this, we have time to run to the other side of the statement of the manor.
Oddly enough, I'm liking this plan. I have some thoughts. All right, so we set this up. You then walk up to the door, knock on the door, asking to see your brother John, because you're here to see John. In the midst of that conversation, it goes up. Distraction is created. People are running around trying to deal with that. Then we could abscond in, and maybe, just maybe, we can
Set their whole house on fire.
later on. Let's get out first. But yes,
And do you want me to help them extinguish the fire, or like pretend that I'm not part of it, or just want me to run for it?
how good are you at acting?
I'm an engineer.
Oh.
He shouldn't know what we're talking about then. That means we have to come up with another plan.
He's the one that's going to make the things to cause the fire, Maddie.
Then he shouldn't be the one looking for his brother.
I turn to Reggie.
I thought you were going to look my way. Of course, he is my good friend. I can knock on the door and certainly try to.
And you lie. Believably.
What I say, I seek my friend John Smith. I'm here to talk with my friend John and congratulate him on his marriage. It's been a very long while, and how does that sound?
We might need to get you some whiskey, but I think it might work.
He also knows what we've just been talking about.
Why would that matter, Maddie?
I have a feeling they're able to discern his nervousness and get him to say something that he shouldn't.
What if this is very, very against my typical behavior, but what if I show up extremely tipsy and say the same thing where I may even believe what I'm saying? I am really searching for my friend.
And it would explain showing up unannounced. But
It's a terrible idea, I'm sure.
Don't feel it? If you don't feel it, Reggie, I can go.
he does have a bit of a tie because he is the brother to John.
Okay.
But-
So, from the sounds of it, the plan is to acquire explosives, set them up in the stables, set up, cause a distraction, take it from there.
Cause a
Rescue
distraction.
John.
Rescue John. Burn the whole house down.
Alright, so is there any, other than acquiring some dynamite, which as an engineer, if you're working in mining, you've got free and ready access. I mean, if a house blows up, people might start asking questions later, but that's another day's problem, I think.
We'll deal about that later.
Yes. Does anyone else have anything they want to do in preparation before this?
I want to force Maddie to sleep. We need her on her best.
Okay, so how are you attempting to do this?
Well, she seems to be drinking copious amounts of tea to try and stay up. So, in the process of brewing her pot of tea in the late evening, I am going to dose the pot, not the cup, the pot, with laudanum.
Okay. And I think are you trying to do this without Maddie spotting you?
Of course.
In which case, I think I would like a sleight of hand check from you here, please. Sleight of hand roll.
End up wasting luck before we get into the nitty-gritty, probably. Okay.
Oh, that is quite a failure. That is an 87 against a 41. So that would be 46 points of luck to succeed.
Or you can push it.
Or you can push it. Which... how could you push this? Attempting to sort of create a bit of a further distraction. I'd say the negative effect if you push this and fail might be that someone else unintentionally gets dosed with laudanum here.
That is a risk I'm willing to take.
Sure. We can all sleep.
Yeah. Rest is good. I'm getting all the bad rolls out.
So, for the benefit of everyone in the chat, that was a fumble on a pushed roll. So
Yes.
Which I assume means she spills it all over, or
no,
how
I
does
think
that work?
she successfully doses the teapot, and as this conversation is carrying on, pours herself a cup of tea.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's that moment in a game where the rogue is trying to poison the king, and he pours it into the cup and he stirs it, and then he licks his finger and he's like, oh no.
As you're sipping, you think like, this is an unusual flavor blend of tea, and then kind of as you kind of the world is getting hazy around the edges, and you kind of slump back in your chair. You remember what you've done.
Yeah. Just at the end of the evening.
And you know what's funny is I was probably lighting and setting candles and lamps on every surface I possibly could in the room I'm in.
So possibly a candle falls over as well now and
Depends on how close she was to that candle.
But there's plenty of people there to stop Irene from catching fire. You
Yay!
stamp out the candle as it catches the edge of her skirts. So, Lady Irene will be well rested. Maddie, are you attempting to get any rest before?
Not actively. She's sitting upright.
Are you still trying to resist sleep here then?
I am, yes, because it is nighttime, so it is dark. I am keeping an eye on all of the candles and lamps, making sure that if they start to go down too low, I've got a new one ready to refresh them. But what are the chances if I accidentally pour myself a cup of tea from that same pot?
You know what? Make me a luck roll here. I didn't refresh the luck this week because it's the last session. I'm going to add it on to next week's.
That's a 3.
So that is the
That's an extreme
lucky
success.
thing here. So, now, I forgot to decide this before and after. Is Maddie dosing herself lucky or unlucky? I'd say she wasn't intending to do this. So, well, what's your determination here, guys? Is it lucky or an unlucky thing?
I think it would be lucky for her to fall asleep.
Do you agree with that, Maddie?
I mean, it'll be lucky for everyone else if I fell asleep.
Actually, yeah. So
maybe that's what I meant.
As she also down into sleep, filled with very vivid and disturbing dreams. Partly because of what you've been through recently, and partly because you've been drugging yourself, which is always a dubious prospect. But, so as dynamite is being gathered, and as the ladies of the Esoteric Society are taking their afternoon tea and copious amounts of drugs, we will see how this, well, this is possibly a heist. I consider this good practice of Blades in the Dark. This attempt to get John out of Bellfont House will go after the break. So we'll be back in 10 minutes' time. And see you then. Okay, so Lady Irene and Maddie have had some sleep. Reggie has had a few drinks. And Andrew has obtained some dynamite. And now, are you meeting up in the city and then heading out to the Bellfont estate together? Or are you meeting up, or not meeting up, out at the estate?
I think we'd leave that to the ladies to decide.
I have to ask what time of day it is.
What time of day would you like to go? This is in your hands as to when this happens.
Maddie will not go out at night unless she is forced.
So during the day it is.
So presumably it is the next morning? Seeing as by the time it was late afternoon, I believe, when we were, or early afternoon when you were talking, and then by the time everyone's been drugged a little, the next morning. So you meet up wherever you choose to meet up.
I think we'll go to the London Society to decide about that, just to speak about that, to see what is the plan. Are we going to separate ways? Who's planting the bomb? Everything.
Okay, so you gather up at the estate. You with a. How are you transporting your dynamite? Is this a large sack, or is it like a satchel of dynamite sticks? How are you carrying this?
It's like a travel luggage. No, it's going to be a light travel luggage. Nothing too big. It will be actually my travel bag. I will have put all my clothes off, put everything on my bed, and put all the dynamite and all the stuff in it. And yeah, just like I'm traveling, just be unsuspected.
Okay, so you gather up, the four of you, and a bag of dynamite.
Wait. Reggie, you need to arrive separate from us.
Arrive where, Miss Carter?
We're going to the Bellfonts estate outside of the city, correct?
Correct.
Yes, quite. It is very scary. We're going to find John. Yes.
It is true. He does need to arrive separate from us. I was thinking if it's possible that maybe we could have the carriage somewhere, not exactly right next to the place for us, so that we have a safe getaway, if you will.
I can
James
walk.
is happy to be your getaway carriage driver. Well, not happy to. Contractually obligated to be your getaway driver, I think, at this point.
We'll need to rent a vehicle that does not belong to the estate.
Very wise, very wise.
So that they don't know.
Yeah, so you arrange 2 carriages, one for the 3 of you and one for Reggie to arrive separately. And
Both not tied to the estate.
yes.
And yes, we will have Reggie show up.
Reggie pulls out a large bottle of amber-colored liquor. And anyone care for a little nip before to get the courage up, as they say?
Irene does grab it, and she does take the little knockback there. There we go.
There we go, Lady Irene. I'll keep this right here and in my pocket. Ding, ding. Well then, right, shall we set off?
Yeah. he should be able to arrive to prepare the stable. Reggie will show up a little bit after everything's been prepared, walk up to the door, cause a ruckus, then the actual ruckus shall
A
begin.
ruckus. I've never caused a ruckus in my entire life. I
It'll
must
be
say,
fun.
this
Yes,
is
it'll be
quite
fun.
exciting.
You should
Quite
have the
exciting.
bottle of liquor out when you knock on the door.
Just-
Miss Carter, can you smell it on me, or do I need to pour some on my shirt? Can you smell?
Keeper, do I smell it?
I think it is yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
must admit, I didn't get much sleep last night, and so I knocked it back quite a few, if you know what I mean.
Lady Irene is looking out the window, and now she's concerned that our new associate is going to catch fire on his own.
Indeed.
Mm.
So,
Do you
Um,
think these skirts will get in the way?
Not in my way, not at all. I'll be in the other cart, the other carriage.
Well, of course the skirts will get in the way, but I find it very nice to hide weaponry. And she kind of flitters the skirt a little to show her nice sword that she
Oh,
now
you have
carries.
weaponry. Huh? I wonder if I should have some weaponry. Should I? Better not have weaponry. I can use my bottle.
okay, so that is a good question. Is anyone else? So Lady Irene's taking a sword. Is anyone else taking any form of weaponry with them?
I want to go up to my room and pull out the folio of monsters and their kind. And I want to look for a summoning and binding, just in case.
I mean, the book is a book of summoning and bindings. So you know that included in that book are summonings. You have not had chance to properly study any of these spells yet.
I am looking for one for a monster that might bring about fire.
Maybe roll me a D100 here.
That's a 46.
There's nothing that seems to specifically speak of fire. You can see spells there to command faceless ones, ice demons, invisible servants, and night beasts. And star walkers, all of which are accompanied with rather horrible drawings and rambling texts by those driven insane by the sight of such beasts.
What about the invisible servant?
Yeah, there's a summoning spell to summon an invisible servant, yeah.
I want to have that ready, just in case.
Well, as in you've got it written there. It will, you know from what you've read in the book and what you sort of glean from Zachary is summoning spells take time. You can't just click your fingers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, well, in that case, I'm going to draw out the diagram for the summoning circle, just so that I have it to reference. I'm going to pocket some chalk. And
the circle's more like decoration. It's more the chanting and
I'm going to have all of the requirements. I'm going to have it written down and separate from the folio, so that I could reference it, because I doubt my memory will be.
So looking over this, the like enchantment to summon an invisible servant, it states that it can only be cast under a cloudless sky at night. In fact, very many of these really specify that they only can be cast at night, as this is a book mostly for the summoning of the creatures of darkness and the night.
I say, that puts quite the wrinkle into our plan.
All right, I'll lock the folio away and bring some extra candles and like a big handful of matches.
Yeah, so with fire tools on hand, this flammable mixture of people head out west of the city. And you're going a few miles outside of what is at the time the bounds of London itself, as you follow the road up around the river past Putney and Mortlake up towards Richmond. And I believe it's the bomb setters who are planning to arrive first, is that correct? So you park up the carriage some distance away from the Bellfont house. And the way the house is set out is there's sort of a drive leading up to the front of the house and curving around to the stables to one side. At the front of the house there's a gate and a wall, but it's not guarded anyway. It's like a decorative estate gate, decorated with a wrought iron pattern that now you're seeing it in daylight. It looks almost like the curling of a wave. So, over to the three of you.
I don't like this part.
We need to get in there so that we can save John.
Unless this is... What is it? What if this is an attempt to get us here so that they can kill us again?
So now you're suspicious of Andrew and Reggie.
Maybe not those two personally. The note.
It's possible, but this is also a good opportunity to try and take the Bellfonts out.
Storyteller, is there a way to the mansion a way that would lead to the mansion without us being seen?
So rather than go down the front drive, you could sort of try and edge round through like the hedges and bushes at the edge of the estate. Yeah. If you want to try and like scramble through the sort of a patch of woodland that borders onto the house, off to one side.
To be honest,
or otherwise you could try and access it from the other side via the river.
No, by the river it won't work because I was thinking about planting another bomb near the mansion in case we are in trouble and we need to run for it.
But yeah, so there's a drive that leads up to the front of the house and the stables, but otherwise you could sort of edge round through the woodland and try and access the gardens and the stables that way.
So, would it help if we plant another dynamite way until the manor? We go to the manor and we put another bunch of dynamites near the manor. Like this, if we need to run for it, we just let it up and we run for it.
I'm okay with that.
I'm very into this plan.
Can I light it?
Not yet, Maddie.
Not yet. But you can lit the fire up from the stable if you'd like to. It's not a problem for me.
Okay.
That will?
Okay, so who is trying to sneak forward to hide this dynamite? is going.
Is the stealth rolling Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah.
There's a stealth roll in
What's-
Call of Cthulhu, yes.
Who's
I believe all of you
stealthy?
possibly have the same still. Unless any of you have gained some points in it somewhere.
I don't know, maybe I can try.
You're all, I think, about as stealthy as an ordinary person.
Yeah.
25 points. That's what I've got.
I've got
got-
20.
I've also got 20. I'm sorry, 21.
So technically, Irene's the stealthiest of the bunch. Oh my god.
We can still say it's a bad idea.
Well, currently,
kind of
Reggie is on
committed.
his own, ready to go up to the front door and...
We're kind of committed to this. So yes, I'm going.
You know what? Let me take the dynamite with us. Like this, I could put fire on it right away, throw it away, and we run for it at this moment. And now we put fire on the stables. Like this.
But we don't know if Reggie's gotten to the location yet.
We need to keep an eye out for that. Reggie has to be there. He has to get them to open the door.
You'll be able to see Reggie approaching down the drive, like
Okay.
from the bushes. So if you're trying to like sneak up to sort of get in position, ready to start hurling dynamite at the house, essentially anyone who's trying to do this to sneak up to either like through the bushes to the house or to the stables, please give me a stealth roll. Let's see how this is going. And just a mental picture of like these two...
Andrew, go first.
like-
Andrew, go. Oh, shit.
Okay, so we will get back
wait.
to what. Yes, would anyone like to spend any luck here?
I'm so spending some luck here.
I almost fumbled.
You almost
Yeah.
did.
I
A
do I
success would cost you, Maddie, 71 points of luck.
that's all of my luck.
It would
71
cost-
points? Jesus.
It would
I've got 75 points total. So
Up to you. It would cost Irene 15 points of luck, and Andrew, it would only cost you 12 because you actually came close to succeeding on this roll.
I am going to spend the luck to get this dynamite in position. Oh my god.
do I? No, I'm not going to spend the luck.
Okay.
I'll be furthest away from the stables, though.
Well, we'll see how this goes. So Andrew was going for throwing the dynamite at the house, and you two were going for the stables. Was that correct?
Yes. Oh,
I-
unless-
No. It was I'm going to keep some dynamite on me actually, and some matches like this. If something goes wrong, I can put the dynamite on and throw, and then run for it. So like
Okay.
this, nobody's going to mention, and we are sure not to be.
Yeah, this
Already-
is more if you get spotted before you get there,
Yeah, that's it.
like trying to sneak onto the estate. So would you like to spend the luck to succeed or not, Andrew?
Yeah. Or I think we're going to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 successes and a failure on the stealth. But as this is going on, a bowler-hatted gentleman is walking up to the front door of Bellfont House.
Yes. And he's practicing to himself as he goes. And I'm searching for my friend John. No. Should I yell it? Where is John Smith? No, perhaps I'll play it cool. I can play things cool, can't I? Yes, you certainly can, Reggie, the boy. Let's play this cool. He walks up the stairs. Is there a big knocker or
Oh
what's
yeah,
he
there's a
looking
great,
at?
like, as you look up to the front of this house, you can see there's like stairs and these like columned entrance and then a big like grand door with a knocker on it. This is a very impressive looking house. It's got some terraces on either side. It's neoclassical in style.
So he will walk up the stairs, look around, look straight at the bushes where he thinks they probably are, and then realize and then look the other way.
You can see Maddie in the bushes.
It takes a couple deep breaths, reaches for his bottle, decides not to. Anyway, yeah. It's all for John, it's all for John, it's all for John.
Standing in the doorway, you see a smartly dressed butler. Quite a pale, thin-looking man with these sort of slightly over-protrudent-looking eyes, like bulging slightly as he stares at you critically, like scanning you up and down.
Hello.
Tradesman's entrance is to the back.
Not a tradesman, my friend. I'm here to visit my good friend, a resident of this beautiful home here. And please call him for me. It's a surprise visit. We've been in contact. He has written
Who are you
numerous
looking
letters.
for, sir?
John Smith. John Smith!
Mr. Smith is unwell at the moment and is not receiving
That
visitors.
is awful news. No, my appearance here will be certain to bring him to lift his spirits and make him feel better. I'll tell him about my collection, the news of the new Geographical Society. He really would be happy to
Mr.
hear
Smith
it.
is
John!
unwell and
John
is not
Smith!
receiving guests. The
No,
butler
but
says again, but you
you
see
put-
this movement in the hall behind you. You can see there seems to be someone else like walking through the house.
At least tell him I'm here. I came all this way. I'm very tired of walking, to be quite honest with you, and I really
Cooper,
want to
what
see
on
him.
earth is going on? What is the fuss?
Hello.
And
Hi.
this is as a second individual appears behind the butler. This is a gentleman dressed in like a casual sort of like dressing coat, the kind of like lounging around the house.
I'm going to try
Looks like
to
he's
step.
just got out of bed very recently.
I'm going to try to
muscles
step
blonde hair.
around the butler and extend my hand. Hello. You may
Hello.
remember me.
I am.
My name is Reggie Bloomington, and excuse me. It passed. I really need to see my friend John. I came all this way. I'm sure
You're
I
a friend of
need to-
John. Oh, quite. Cooper.
See, yes.
You should know that a friend of John is a friend of the family.
Right.
Please, Mr. What was it again?
Bloomington?
Mr.
Perhaps you
Bloomington.
remember my name. I've done business with John before at the shipping company.
That little matter with that little legal matter. My father.
Quite.
Charles Bellfont.
Well, hello. Again. Reggie Bloomington.
Please,
Wonderful to meet
do
you.
come in. And as he's saying
Would you
that,
like a drink? And I pull the bottle out of my pocket.
well, it's never too early. Come in.
Yes, I've had a couple myself, to be quite honest. I really miss John. Is John around? Can I see my friend John?
Well, as this is happening, so those of you with the fuses and the fire. Well, Andrew and Irene, you've both managed to shuffle into position without any difficulty. Maddie, on the other hand, as you were sort of making your way around the stables, you have found yourself sort of, as you start edging your way through the bushes, you find yourself now standing face to face with a rather bemused-looking gardener who's standing there as you kind of come through the bushes. There's this man with like a pair of pruning shears, just staring at you, looking slightly confused.
I'm lost.
Sorry, are you a... Who
I'm
are you?
lost.
Where do you need to be, miss?
I don't remember.
Are you... Do you live around here? Do you have family around here, miss?
I was at the doctor's recently.
I'm going to ask for a fast talk here, Maddie, if you're attempting to pull the wool over this, guys.
Yes.
Nice.
Where is it? Oh.
And you know what? I'm going to give you a bonus die on this due to convincingly being really, quite insane at this point.
Okay, so you want me to roll the purple one?
Yeah.
Medicine cabinet, second shelf. Sorry.
Okay. So in this case, can I spend luck on this one?
Yes, you can, in fact, and it will only cost you 3 points of luck, because despite the fact that you're not very good at lying, you got quite lucky on this roll.
I will definitely spend luck on this one. For everyone who doesn't know, I rolled an 8 and I needed a 5 or less.
Yes.
So,
please, miss.
there we go.
This way, come. Do you want me to... Here, let me take you up to the house. I'll sit you down, we'll get you a cup of tea, and I'll try and find someone to take you to wherever you need to be going. Is that alright, miss?
Yes. I'll have some tea.
Yeah, I'll just pop you in the take you down to the servants' quarters. I'll find someone right away. And as he starts like ushering her towards the house, Irene and Andrew, you would see this.
That's what I was gonna ask, is since Andrew is more astute at putting dynamite in places, while this gardener's distracted, can I come up and hit him on top of the head with the hilt of the sword, trying to knock him out so that he doesn't get them too far away?
Yes, you can. You can roll this as a fighting brawl or a sword attack, your choice. And again, I am going to give a bonus die because he does not see this coming. He is subtly distracted. He is trying to be a good Samaritan and help this poor lost woman to get a cup of tea. And then behind him, out of the bushes...
Did I do this right? No, I did not.
No. That is in fact a failure, as he turns around in alarm and you hear her shriek up. This sword-wielding woman comes out of the bushes. So and this is the point where Reggie has just been invited through the house. You hear a commotion off in the bushes by the side of the house. Andrew, you also hear this.
What kind of commotion do we hear?
You hear a startled gardener being attacked by Lady Irene wielding a sword.
I'll take a look, and what I do is do the explosion like right away, like to distract the guard. He's thinking about something else. Like maybe he'll think she ran through it because he knows it was going to explode or something. But I hurry up for the explosion.
So is it the stables you're trying to blow up here, or just?
a part of the stable. I'm not going to. I don't want to destroy everything. I just want to do commotion.
Okay, so I didn't expect explosives to come up this much, so I didn't put demolitions on your sheet. But if you roll me, I think an engineering roll, I'll call this. It's a backwards engineering roll. It should be at the very end of your sheet on the extra skills. You go down to the last column. Right.
Yeah, science engineering.
Yes. This is science engineering, like sub brackets dynamite. So, what I'm going to say, that is a failure. If you wish to spend 20 points of luck, it's not going to be a failure to blow it up. This is just for more the finessing of the explosion, given the circumstances. So something's definitely still going to get blown up, no matter what happens.
You know what? Because I'm in a hurry of what is happening, I'm not going to spend the luck. I'm going to let it go because I'm in a hurry. So I'm going to let it go like this.
Yeah, so what happens is, if we replay this scene, Reggie is being invited inside the house. There's a commotion in the bushes as Irene comes out behind this gardener wielding a sword, and then the end of the stables blows up. And Andrew, you were like flung backwards in, like further into these bushes as like the side of this stone building explodes, and
That's a big enough distraction, I think, to scare a gardener off.
Andrew, you'll take 4 points of damage from this exploding edge of the stables. And so, back up inside the house, both the butler and Charles, like, there's this moment of like utter like confusion on their faces as they just slowly turn to look out the house to this rising cloud of smoke from the edge of the Bellfront stable. You can hear like the screaming of like panicked horses. You can hear more shouts of alarm spreading from like people who are seeing this. Reggie, what are you doing? You're currently standing just inside the foyer of the house.
Reggie says, sorry, did I do that? Where's John? John Smith. And I walk into, I would guess there's a drawing room near.
Yeah, there's like a foyer and this big reception hall. This is a big
I'll
grand
walk
house.
right
There's also like
walk in.
this big sweeping staircase leading up to the upstairs.
I'll start heading upstairs.
Okay, so you head on upstairs. No one stops you. They are currently very distracted by running out to see what's going on with the stables. The gardener, like, is very, like, has just turned in panic to look what was going on at the stables. Irene and Maddie, what are you two doing?
Run. I'm running to get to where Andrew is and trying to get into the house while everybody else is distracted.
So you're running towards the house or towards Andrew?
Towards Andrew first,
Okay.
and then to the house.
Alright. Maddie, what are you doing?
I am going to stand stock still, staring at what just happened, gripping. I'm assuming the gardener had a hold of like my upper arm or shoulder or something as he was trying to guide me.
Yeah, he was more like gently guiding you, like rested his arm on yours.
I am
And
going
he actually
to,
probably would have let go of you as the sword-wielding maniac came out of the bushes, though.
I am going to grab him as I'm staring at that, looking completely mad and scared, and so either he's got to shake me off or he's got to continue leading me away.
Well, he's more just kind of... The stable just exploded. He's like, Jesus Christ, what is going on here?
Fire.
Shit, I should... And he starts running towards the stables.
I'll run towards the kitchen and start yelling, "Fire in the stables! Fire in the stables!"
Okay, so you're heading towards the house. You're sort of going against the flow. If you can see, there's a number of like what looks like servants running out to the stables. Someone even already like carrying like a bucket of water. Andrew, knocked backwards by this blast, you can see Irene now running towards you through like your ears ringing from the explosion.
Yeah, I'm trying to stand up and like, I didn't expect that. Oh,
I'm helping him up and hurrying him along.
I think we have to go.
It's pretty bad. Good job.
Let's move. And
Yeah,
we're trying to go the other way through the bushes to, to away from the house and but away from the house, but at the same time going to the house, going by the
circumnavigate the
stables.
bushes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're going away from where you are, like heading away from the house is like away from the house. To go like circumnavigate round is quite a long loop round across the lawns.
And is there a way we can go to the house but without being seen? Now that everybody's going to the stable?
There's chaos at the moment, so you could hope that no one like is paying attention to you as you run up to the house, but
Yeah.
There's no way to kind of be completely unseen and approach this house.
Yeah. But while the chaos is going, let's head.
No one's really paying any attention at the moment because
Yeah, we go then.
some maniac has blown up their stable. So yeah, you can see also Maddie sort of hurrying towards the house in like the same direction that you two are.
Mm-hmm.
So you two sort of would be running up and arriving like probably up towards like the terrace side of the house where there's the library, conservatory. I think the drawing room that Irene has been in before. So Irene, you have been to this house before. You have a vague idea of the downstairs layout.
Yes.
And you took a nice stroll around the gardens.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're running up to the house, you can hear Reggie calling out for John from like the main bit of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie, as you sort of head up this sweeping staircase, you find yourself in this big, grand upstairs hall. And there's chaos downstairs and outside. There doesn't seem to be anyone around up here, just this big, empty, open hallway.
Does it feel like Reggie would know which doors led to bedrooms?
You can
With a good
assume
guess.
that a lot of the doors up here are going to lead to bedrooms or bathrooms.
Then Reggie will
You can
start
see
on the
there's like
left.
an open hall into like what appears to be a large sitting room across, but the rest appears to be bedrooms. So you don't know whose bedrooms are whose.
And how familiar would Reggie be to the layout of large homes? Like, would he open it up and see a bed, or would there be a little reception room first and a bedroom beyond it? How
Depends on the
versed
style of
in
the
architecture?
house. So it's vastly variable. It goes through phases of fashion. So in some of the older houses, you've got bedrooms that you walk through to get to other rooms.
Right.
But this looks a fairly, in the terms of the period of time, fairly modern house. So you expect to find like separate bathrooms.
I would like to head to the left down the hallway that I think may lead to a bedroom or several bedrooms.
Okay. So yeah, you head down the hallway. You can see there's doors. One of them ajar seems to lead to some sort of cupboard that someone's been busy in. But if you pick roll me a luck roll here, please. You're just picking a door.
Well, I'm going to ignore any that are closed. I'm sorry, any that are open, figuring that people would have run out to look at the explosion. Can you tell me where to find the luck that I roll?
Should be left-hand side underneath
Oh,
where
I
your
see.
name
Yeah.
and stuff is.
Great. So focusing on the closed doors, all the closed doors, I'm going to open them up and just see if it's a bedroom, and if so, I will. Did I roll it?
Yes. So as you open the first door, you open. As you open it up, it does appear to be a bedroom. This first one, as you peer inside.
Okay.
You can see there's a bed. It's not yet been made. There's clothing hung over the back of a chair. Looks to be a half-drunk bottle of possibly what looks like brandy on the table beside the bed, and like a book.
Men or women's clothing?
Men's clothing. Like
I'll take a step in and look around. John?
There doesn't appear to be anyone in here, though.
Okay, then I head to the next door.
Okay, as you open the next door, the first thing that hits you as you enter this room is this smell. It's this stuffy sort of smell of a room with the windows haven't been open for a long while. Sort of sick room smell. This cloying scent mixed with something else you can't quite place. Something putrescent, almost rotted, like dead fish or like the brine of a harbour. Something very much not right.
I will investigate this room for sure.
See, the room itself has some flowers in a vase by the bed, and wrapped up on a pile of cushions in the bed is a woman. With like a rather like pale, almost translucent looking skin, and long dark hair.
Is she someone that I would possibly recognize?
You've met the Bellfonts before. You've met William Bellfont before in business dealings. You possibly haven't met this woman. She looks to be possibly in her 40s or so. She's definitely not Augusta, because you would have seen Augusta before, who is young and blonde.
I'll leave this room then.
The woman, like, so you've opened this door to this woman's room, and she kind of looks around. I'm sorry.
Cheerio. Sorry, my bad. Steps out.
All right. As you step out, so we're just going to pop down to see how the other half of this maniac crew is going on. So they charge into the downstairs of this house.
Maddie would have ran into the kitchen, yelling, "There's a fire! There's a fire!" And then
the kitchen seems to have been abandoned. Like, you can see there's still like a pot on the boil, but everyone has rushed out to see what's going on.
Do I see cooking oils?
Yeah, there's probably a big buck of lard, probably.
Okay, and
that.
And is the pantry nearby? Can I go in there and check and see if they have any lamp oils?
Yeah, so there's pantries and storerooms around here if you want to spend some time searching around, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you're searching around for lamp oil, and what you would all notice is this house is lit by gas lamps.
Ooh, even better.
So you've got this faint... it's daytime at the moment, so not many of them are lit, but downstairs in the dark abyss, there's just this faint hiss of the gas through the pipes and this little blue flame. The gas lamp.
As I'm going past them, I'm turning them all the way up, but not lighting them.
Okay, so you're opening the gas taps in this house.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
As I walk through. Yes.
Okay. Duly noted. So you're sort of downstairs in this, in like the, it's not quite a basement, but like the lower level of the house, because the main ground floor is raised up on stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're busy letting the gas out, Andrew and Irene are up on the floor above. What are you doing, guys?
Normally, Irene would be running after Maddie, but we have a job to do. I'm worried about Reggie and where everybody else is. So we heard Reggie shouting.
Yep.
Right?
So we will go where we heard the voice, I think.
Yeah.
But it sounded like when you heard it briefly when you entered, it sounded like it was coming from upstairs.
Yeah.
So you probably head upstairs at the time. There's, like, Reggie is just backing out of the woman's bedroom, like and you're back in the upstairs hallway. You see Irene and Andrew come running up the stairs.
Ding ding. I may have wet myself. Don't go in this room. Let's try this one. I go to the next room.
Okay. As the next door you open up looks to be a much larger bedroom. Men's clothes neatly folded on a chair. Bed looks very neatly made. Doesn't look to be anyone in here though.
Okay, I back out.
And
haven't found John yet, but don't go in that room. It's disgusting. There's a woman that looks like a fish. Avoid it. So I go to the next room.
moving on past that.
Yeah.
Drunk Reggie is awesome. Drunk Reggie is awesome.
As you do this, well, Irene and Reggie, you both. Andrew, your ears are still ringing a bit from the explosion, so you're going to make this with a penalty die. So essentially, you roll a purple one, and we'll take a lower rung. I'd like everyone to give me listen checks, please. Here.
Okay.
Everyone who's upstairs in the house.
Not
In fact,
Maddie.
Maddie, make it. If you can roll really well, you might also hear this.
Okay, listen.
Yeah,
Where is that?
Listen with your ears.
Oh, that's a fail. Significant fail. No thanks.
So only Irene hears this. You hear a sound from the opposite end of the house to the rooms that Reggie has been searching. You hear a gurgling cry. It sounds, to your ears, pretty much like a baby.
Okay. We are
Coming from-
totally going that way.
Room down this end of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Irene heads off towards the nursery.
This way. I heard baby cry. That's Irene whispering. This way. Baby cry. So
And as you get closer, you can also hear what sounds like a woman's voice. Now. Hush, little baby.
Did you wake the baby, Lady Irene? Some big explosion.
Yes, a big explosion did happen.
He taps the side of his nose.
But yeah, it's listen. Here, and it's safe to assume that this is probably Augusta. I've heard this voice.
Yes, you would recognize now as you get closer. This voice is clearly Augusta. You've met her, I think, twice now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to open that door, but what, Reggie? What?
Should we open the door?
That's Augusta.
But the baby needs to escape. Why? Speaking of, where's Miss Carter?
Maddie, the gas taps are now all open, and you have obtained, a large block of cooking lard if you require it.
Yes, and lamp oil, hopefully.
Yes, and some lamp oil.
I would be using the lard to coat things. I've got one hand coating, holding the bucket of lard and the lamp oil, and the other hand dipping into the lard and smearing it along like the walls and the furniture. And the hand that's holding the lard bucket is going to pour some oil on the other side of the hall as she's walking around.
Okay. You're just greasing this house.
Yes.
But yeah. So her
And
babies. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I thought I was muted.
no. I continue up the servants' stairs into the back spaces and maybe up into the servants' quarters.
Well, so yeah, there's some servant stuff down in the lower ground, and then there's the ground floor, the first floor, and then there's some attics with servants' quarters in as well.
I'll go up to the attics and start doing that. The same thing there.
Okay, so you make your way up. So as stuff is going on the first floor, you're making your way up the servant stairs at the moment. Okay. So, the rest of you are in the hall on the first floor, outside the nursery door.
Do you think John might be in there with the baby?
Don't think so. He wrote the letter saying that the baby was born.
So let's go away from this room and keep searching, no?
Yeah.
Ooh, you've got a hangnail. Very well. Which door shall we open next? Are there still any closed doors?
There's a few that look like cupboard doors, but there's 2 more bedroom doors essentially on this floor.
Then I'll
And
just
some that look to lead to servants' quarters or the servants' stairs.
I'll just open a closed one that's not the baby's door.
Yeah, so as you come to next, it sounds like there's someone moving around on the servants' staircase. As you...
Someone over there.
Lady Irene readies the sword, just in case.
Andrew, do you have a weapon? Did you bring weaponry?
Not the type of take weapons with me. But you see him put his glove up like.
Do you want to use my bottle as a bludgeon? You can take it. Not very good with a bottle.
Okay, I'll take it then.
Okay, the next door you try, Reggie. This one's locked.
It's locked. You want me to pick it? I can kick it. I can kick it down. Never mind. You can kick it down, maybe, Andrew. I just knock.
Hello?
John,
Reggie?
John, wait. Open the door, John.
God, it's locked!
Who's got? Can we? Andrew, your brother's right here.
I'm going to kick the door. Try to kick the door down.
Alright, make me a strength check here. That's on the top right of your sheet underneath the characteristics. So. Right. So with a cracking of wood, you kick the lock. You hear as it cracks.
Well done.
And you see, like sort of sat on the bed, like staring at you is your brother, John, looking a little worse for wear, a lot thinner and tireder than you last saw him. His beard sort of growing on his face, like deep circles under his eyes, this harried look on his face.
Look in the door. We came to rescue
Andrew,
you,
you're
John.
really there? Ready? Is this real?
let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah, come. We'll talk later. Come on. We've got to go. We've got to go.
So as this is going on, the two gentlemen are up at the right in this door. Irene, where are you at the moment?
I have positioned kind of in a protective stance. Since we heard the servants' quarter stairs, we're up. So yeah, it's ready to stab.
So you would, as they're around the corner opening John's room, you would, as you're paying attention to the servants' quarters,
Oh, yeah.
you hear a door open and close beside you. And as you turn around, you see, staring right at you is a young woman in a house coat, like a house dress, and her blonde hair pulled back from her face.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You instantly recognize Augusta Bellfont.
Sword right at the throat. Don't you say a thing.
You again.
May I interject?
Yes, Maddie.
At that point where they smashed in the door and started their conversation.
So, as you were going up the servants' stairs, you hear the sound of a door getting kicked in from just as you've gone past the first floor. You hear what sounds like someone kicking a door in on the floor below.
I'm going to drop the oil and the lard that is in my hands. I'm going to, with the lard covered hand, pull out a couple candles. Put them in my other hand, pull out some matches, start the matches, lighting the candles, and then I'll go retrace my steps, dropping matches on the oil and as I'm walking away.
Okay, so this is going to take some time, so we'll catch up on when you enter this. So are you walking down the house or up the house?
Yeah, I'm following my tracks that I was in.
Okay, so we'll, can you make me a luck roll whilst you're doing this, please?
Purple or green?
Just green, no bonuses.
That's a hard success.
Okay. Maybe you're not setting fire to yourself, that's good. So as you start doing this, we'll get back to its results in a moment, as there's a little bit of a standoff situation in the hall. So Reggie and Andrew have just opened the door, kicked down the door to John's room, and just as they're catching sight of John, there's Irene with a sword at Augusta's throat, a few feet away down the corridor. Do you mean to kill me?
Only if I have to.
You hear again the cry of the baby from the room behind Augusta.
Why don't you see to your child? And we'll be on our way.
What are you doing here?
Rescuing someone.
Who? John? You realize?
He wrote home. Asked for help.
And you think that sound outside, is that you?
I have no idea. I just thought it was a proper opportunity to be able to get.
So you're here, but you don't mean to kill us? This isn't vengeance.
I don't want to kill you.
Congratulations, my dear.
Are we all coming out with John?
Yeah, you can hear this. You're just a few feet down the corridor. You see John looking as John starts to exit the room, you catch sight of Augusta and you see him pull back inside the room, just shaking it he backs away from her.
I've got her.
No, you don't. No, she's a monster. They're not. I don't know what they're not human. She's not human. I don't know what she is. She's not human.
Reggie does say, congratulations, my dear, on your birth of your baby will be out of your hair in mere moments. John, come now, let's go. And starts heading for the stairs.
Okay, so you start to head for the stairs.
Hoping that John will follow behind.
John looks almost like frozen to the spot at the moment.
Oh,
I'll take him. I'll try to grab him and take him with me. Like, just come on. We need to go. Move.
Yeah, if you kind of haul him along, like he seems like, what's the date? You can just sort of sense the fear of him. As Augusta, so as those three are backing away down towards the stairs, Augusta's staring eye to eye with Irene. You think you can kill me before I can kill you?
Don't. And yeah, there is a distinctive push at the throat.
You would do that? Kill an unarmed and defenseless woman? A baby in the room next door? What kind of monster are you?
I've seen monsters. I'm just emulating what I've seen so far from you and your family. Don't. Go see to your baby. And I'll see to mine.
And it's at this point, Irene, that you start to smell smoke.
At that point, it's definitely a push distraction towards Augusta to make a beeline out.
Okay. I am going to ask for a roll here. And I'm going to say you can make this a dodge or a fighting brawl. This is essentially to extricate from your situation before Augusta has a chance to try anything ill-advised.
That's basically what I'm trying to do. Okay. They are the same.
Yeah, you push. She stumbles backwards. You push her backwards, and you have time to back away towards the stairs.
Yep.
As the gentlemen a little further ahead of you, they make their way down the stairs to the foyer. You can see the open door, and like the morning, hear the chaos outside, and see the morning sun like streaming in, and the shadow of a figure standing in the doorway, looking up the stairs towards you. And pointing what looks very much like a revolver in your direction is the same blonde-haired gentleman who answered the door, who came to the door earlier, Charles Bellfont.
Reggie
Where do you
will
think you're
stumble.
going?
Reggie will stumble down the stairs, take off his hat. Well, we found John. We found our friend. Thank you so much. Did you enjoy the drink? I surely did appreciate your hospitality. And I'll reach out my hand to shake and grab the end of the revolver.
Oh, right, you're going to try and grab his...
I'm just going to grab it.
Give me a
As
fighting
if I didn't
brawl
see it.
here. That you're trying to grab
Oh,
his gun. A fighting brawl here.
Fighting. Let's see. Fighting brawl. Okay.
Wow.
This is contested, so don't clap just yet.
Okay. At least it wasn't red on my screen.
So, that is a success versus a success. So you go for the gun as he pulls a gunshot cracks out. You haven't got his gun, but you've not shot at point blank range either. As a shot echoes around the foyer.
Let's say, did you fire that weapon?
Yes.
Why would you fire your weapon indoors?
Am I near them?
Yes.
When this is going on, I just let go of John and I hit the Charles in the face.
All right. Fighting brawl. You have a bonus die because this poor chap is outnumbered now.
So it's fighting brawl, eh?
Yes, the purple one because you have a bonus versus his. I'm gonna roll it. It's your bonus versus his not bonus.
So purple one. Okay.
Yes. Good. Your fist impacts the side of your face. Wow, with extreme success versus his almost a fumble of failure. And what are the damages on your you're quite a big guy, aren't you?
I'm not small, yeah.
So that will be roll me 2d4s and 2d3s. So that's just this is an extreme success.
2d4
Yeah.
and 2d3.
Yes.
Don't find the d3.
Oh, you can slash R.
Slash R.
3. Call of Cthulhu is a weird system in that it sets many things as a non-existent dice. It's almost like a challenge to like this eldritch dice that cannot exist, and we're going to use it. Okay, so that is 3, and one more d3.
Okay.
That's the. Oof, some pretty low damage, but that is 5 total, which is actually a major wound here against poor Charles. And you see, as he staggers backwards, he maintains consciousness, but he like staggers back, like catching himself against like one of the statues in the hallway, like supporting himself upwards, completely like blinking as like blood trickles down the side of his face.
And
he has no impediment to you anymore.
And when I'm going out, I'm saying, "That's for me, brother," and I'm going off.
All right, so Irene, you're a little bit behind them, but you see this as you reach the top of the stairs. You see this going down as you are coming down the stairs.
Good on
And the
him.
smell of smoke is getting stronger. Maddie, you've reached the bottom back down to the servants' quarters now. And the air down here... There's a strong almost rotting odour that is coming from the gas. Alert you to the fact there is a major gas leak going on here.
I am going to walk out of the kitchen, outside, to the other... It's just outside. I'm going to light another candle and throw it into the kitchen.
Okay.
As I leave.
What I'm going to ask here is how much luck does everyone in this group has? Because this is going to be a group luck roll, so whoever has the lowest luck is rolling for everyone here.
Got 39.
I have 72.
At 40.
Andrew?
I've got 40, but I spent 12, so I got 28.
Okay, Andrew, you have 28, so you are rolling for everyone here. So roll luck. This is always how it works in Cthulhu. The person who's the least lucky rolls for everyone when it's a group.
Green or blue? Green or purple?
Just the green one. So,
Sorry.
a match is thrown. And Maddie, as you're exiting the house, this match is thrown, and there's this whoop of an explosion from the lower part of this house. And you find yourself sort of flung backwards by the force of it. You're perhaps a little too casual in your over-eager fire setting today, as you find yourself flung backwards by the force of this explosion.
flung forwards because I'm walking away from the house, right?
Thank you. Flung forward. And
We are at
you are
front
in the
door.
foyer as you hear this explosion ripple through the floor below you in this house. And essentially, for the simplicity, things are starting to collapse as, like, the floor in this hallway just, like, ripples for a moment into the force of this explosion. Luckily, this is a fairly solid stone house, so the whole thing isn't going up in one go. But
Except for where I put the
parts of this
oils
structure
and lard.
have been blown, like, out.
May I ask a quick question?
Yes?
Since I was holding the gun
Yes.
and William was punched in the head,
So you didn't get the gun. It was
I
a...
can't?
You didn't...
I didn't get it.
No,
I just
so
sort of hit it.
You kind of
Okay.
knocked it to one side as he was trying to shoot you.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, he succeeded as well on his. But every one of you, I need you to roll me a D10, please, dear. Each one of you. We'll play this out as how this happens. This.
I got a 7.
Okay.
5.
Alright.
I would like for you to tell me where to find the D10 to roll.
So you can either find it on the left-hand side. There's a whole panel of buttons, including one that looks a bit like a D20, and that has dice in it. Or you can type into the chat /R space D10.
Okay. I will do that. Mine is a 2.
So Reggie, possibly nearest the door, gets off rather lightly when it comes to the damage from standing in collapsing, exploding house. So this is damage. So that's 2 points of damage to Reggie, 7 points to Andrew, 7 points to Maddie, and 5 points to Irene. So, anyone who now has less than half of your hit points, please raise your hand. Could you all make con rolls for me, please?
Green?
Green. Green, the grass is good.
Can I use my luck on that?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay, let's see.
I don't have enough luck to make that work.
Hold on,
Oh god,
calculator.
that's a very poor con roll. Irene, you are now unconscious in this, like, strewn rubble of the foyer of this house, sprawled out, struck by, like, the marble bust of possibly some Roman emperor that's toppled on you that was there decoratively, like Trajan. Andrew, you're badly injured but still conscious. As the force of the explosion rippled through the house, but now is the major problem that what is left of the house is very much on fire. You can hear screaming and shouting. People who had been paying attention to the stable fire are now running back to the much more serious house fire. Maddie, did you spend the luck to succeed?
Yes,
You
I
are
did.
badly injured, but still conscious.
Okay, I am going to make my way around to the front of the house and see if I can find my fellows.
Okay, so you will arrive up with them in a moment. Meanwhile, the rest of you, Irina's unconscious. John is conscious, but looks very befuddled and confused by what is going on.
Andrew, For the carriage, take John, and where is Miss Carter? I will tend to Lady Irene my very best. I pull out a handkerchief and try to dab her forehead and try to grab her under the arms and drag her toward the road.
Okay, so you're trying to haul her away.
Correct. Miss Carter? Where is Miss Carter?
Maddie, at this point, you kind of come around the side of the house to see, like, Andrew and John. Andrew, are you taking John, or?
Yeah, I'm taking John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm badly
Andrew
hurt, but I'm taking it.
Like, and John leaning on each other.
Yeah, each other.
Limping,
Yeah, like that.
Like, limping to the carriage. Reggie dragging Irene. The house, the wreckage of the house burning behind you. Maddie, you come around the corner. And the rest of you see that Maddie is covered in soot and grease and blood.
And smiling so much. And
I say, Miss Carter, you look quite happy today.
What time is it? Keeper, what time is it?
It's still pretty early in the morning.
Okay.
It's not lunchtime yet.
All right. I will
Lunchtime arson?
right. Okay, I will assist Reggie with Irene. And I've got this, smile on my face, and let's go. We'll walk whatever direction I'm led in. I guess I'm following Andrew and John.
We're going to the carriage.
As you head to the carriage, you can now start to hear what sounds like the ding, 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 ding of a fire engine bell. And the galloping of horse hooves as the local fire engine is running up the road towards Bellfont House. Presumably called for the first fire. Now arriving to find its extra fire. So yeah, waiting at the carriage, like white-knuckled and terrified looking, is James. Miss Carter, Lady Irene, is she all right?
I don't know. I think maybe she needs a spotted drink. But let's get her inside. Let's see if we can get the heck out of here.
James, let's not go home.
Where do you want me to go?
Let's go. Let's go far away for a few days.
Right, country.
Well, the country house should be fine.
Yeah, the other house, the other estate. I think maybe I need to possibly see a doctor. Are you all right, miss?
No, let's go.
Yes, right away. Of course, whatever you say, Miss Carter. And Reggie and Andrew, you both see the look of fear on James's face directed towards Maddie. He's terrified, and it reminds you almost quite a lot of the look that John had on his face when he saw Augusta.
As we're driving away, I've got my head leaned out the window a little, and I'm watching the fire as we're pulling away from it.
And I'm pulling out the bottle of Reggie. I think I can take a sip now. I think.
By all means, old chap, do please, and then pass it around.
I drink and I pass it around.
And Reggie says, "Another successful caper," and passes out from drink.
And as the carriage trundles off north away from London towards the estate up in, I think it's in either Oxfordshire or Herefordshire, so it's going to be many hours of journey. Trapped inside with Maddie. You head up to the country. Arrive up at this rather lovely but shuttered estate up in the countryside, with servants not expecting to see you arrive, but they're happy to, dust off beds, uncover the furniture, and put you up for a couple of days as guests of the London Esoteric Society. And it is there, up at the other house where you are, when you receive the paper bearing some of the right dramatic news. It seems that Bellfont House, the home of the wealthy and well-respected shipping magnate, William Bellfont, suffered an unfortunate accident when a gas pipe exploded. You know how dangerous this newfangled technology can be. This horrific explosion destroyed the property, leading to poor William Bellfont to be killed in his own study.
Who's reading this story out loud?
I kind of want to be.
Yeah. Irene, a doctor would have been summoned for Irene. She's probably propped up there with like bandages around her.
Yeah, and I'm just reading it out.
And I am going to start cackling.
Lady Irene is just kind of looking. Do they say anything about Augusta or Charles?
Take a little roll here.
Are we going to need new villains for the next season of the London Esoteric Society?
It states that who also killed in the explosion were William's wife, Ida Bellfont, and his daughter Augusta.
Wow.
And I know it might not become relevant, but I do actually want to rest for a sanity check from all four of you, as you realise now that you are party to essentially the manslaughter of 3 people.
Sanity check.
All right.
And as ever, Lady Irene is disturbingly okay with this.
Hey, I didn't kill them myself. I let Maddie do the vengeance thing.
I failed so hard.
Oh god.
I think so. Which is very much clear from everything.
Got an extreme success.
Yes, that means that. I
He
mean, it's up
should've-
to you how affected you are by this, but
I'm affected because I didn't want to hurt a lot, but I'm like, you shouldn't have touched my brother. You shouldn't have touched my brother.
I do need a D6 from both Reggie and Maddie, please. Here. Maddie, you're now down to 5 points of sanity and cackling like a maniac. Reggie, you lose 4. It will be noted if Reggie Bloomington ever returns to this world in the future. Yeah, I mean, you are quite aware of, like, seeing it in stark black and white print in the paper of what you've been party to here. Yes, you've helped John, you got him out of there, but 3 people are dead.
Reggie may never drink again. That was awful. The poor baby.
And as you're sitting around the breakfast table in the house, at the country house, listening to Maddie's laughter ring off the walls, as the Bellfonts are no longer a threat to the London Esoteric Society. Cult of Dagon is broken, their leader gone, and at least for now, their rites and rituals are stopped. The Bellfont estate fallen into ruin, the shipping company broken up. The surviving heir to the Bellfont estate, Charles Bellfont,
Not John Smith.
No, it would have gone to the son.
Gotcha.
Charles Bellfont apparently went utterly insane and was escorted away, ranting and raving about how a mad woman had burned down the house and how they were out to get him, and deemed to have been deeply disturbed by the death of his twin sister and father and mother in one horrific accident. But with him not able to inherit the estate, the Bellfont Shipping Company is dissolved, and a lot of previous dubious dealings start to come to light. Some shipping contracts perhaps shouldn't have been granted to them. It seems like William Bellfont was pulling a lot of strings and had a lot of influence in places he should not. And after his death, people are very quick to... they were never really his friend, and he was just threatening them, but... whether they would have said it when he was alive is another matter. But for now, the Bellfonts are gone, and London is a much safer place. And as weeds start to grow over the ruins of Bellfont House, it may be many years before such a severe threat arises. And in that time, the London Esoteric Society has time to expand its numbers, increase its research, and hopefully solve the Maddie issue. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will be a problem for future sessions and future seasons.